Hello. Hello, my name is Don Rowley, and last week I had a major role in sending a convicted pedophile who was teaching martial arts to young girls back behind bars. Vernon Van Zyl is in jail right now during the holidays, only because a friend of his by the name of Ron Collins, who is also a fake master of martial arts and has a fetish for 13-year-old girls, fouled up and we were able to make the connections. Pedophilia in the martial arts is a major concern of mine, and yet is one that people in the industry are not willing to talk about. If you make your living off of teaching martial arts, you require children's classes to basically pay the bill. It's your bread and butter. People that are in the industry are scared that if parents find out how widespread pedophilia is, they'll get scared and stop bringing their kids to class, and they will go out of business. I don't teach kids, and even if I did, I wouldn't shut up. This video blog, I want to talk about the reasons why so many pedophiles are drawn to get into martial arts and set themselves up as masters. It basically comes down to two things. The first reason, well, predators go where the prey is. Parents think of martial arts classes as daycare centers. They drop them off, they come back a few hours later. It's the perfect place for a predator to start grooming some of his victims. The only other job where you are in that close a contact with that many children is a public school teacher. And if you want to do that, you have to spend a few years going to college. Once you're in, there's systems in place to find teachers that are showing unnatural interest in their students. It's not a very good option. By comparison, if you're willing to lie about your martial arts background, you can set yourself up within a week. You invent a story about a mysterious old man that taught you as a kid and nobody else ever met. You send money off to organizations like the Black Dragon Fighting Society, get their certificates put on the wall and impress parents. You're in. Now, the second reason basically is their psychology, and that's what I want to talk about right now. Okay, there's people that are wired to be pedophiles. They can't show interest in adult females. They're going after like the 6-year-old, the 7-year-olds. Okay, the ones that I'm talking about, the dangers in martial arts, are usually going after 13-year-olds thereabouts because they're female that are starting to develop into women. They have the physical attributes of women's, but are still very much children inside. That attracts the hollow men. I call them hollow men because they don't have that inner strength, that inner thing that makes a man a man. Because they are hollow, because they are true men, their psychology is convinced that if everyone thinks of them as being X, then they will be as X. So, not being men, they're trying to project the ultimate image of a man that they can by the roles that men usually play in society, and one of them being the warrior. Most species, the male are the dealers of violence. They are the hunters. They are the protectors. In packs, they are the ones that fight other males to find out who will be the alpha male and pass along their genes. So when you're not a man inside, when you're a hollow man, you try to project yourself as the biggest badass on the planet. It is not uncommon to find people, fake martial artists, who also make fake claims about being in the military, usually elite units. Case in point, one guy that I know of, Ralph Hall, not only did he claim to be a Bunjikon 10th Dan training secret in Japan, but he also claimed to be part of the elite ranger unit and killed 8 people with his bare hands in Iraq and Afghanistan. You find not only martial arts claims being false, but they make claims of being in part of elite units. I mentioned Ron Collins. Again, he could not even make it through USMC basic training, but he then tried to convince the entire world that he was a member of their elite Force Recon unit, as well as being taught by a ninja master as a young child. And yes, he went on to go to jail for what he tried to do with a 13-year-old, and they found kiddie porn on his computer later on. These things go together. Now, another thing that goes together with the man image is procreation. being the ultimate man means that you have to spread your seed and such. And again, they're not real men, so they can't handle real women. A real man likes a woman that has fire, that is able to, like give and take with them, that can stand strong. These men, these hollow men, aren't looking for that. And so 13-year-old girls are seen as easier prey. So their drive to be a man drives them towards weak targets. And it's not just children. One thing that you find a lot of is, fake masters of martial arts and domestic abuse. Because, let's face it, a real man doesn't hit a woman, and these aren't real men. Case in point, again, all together. Frank Dukes claims to have been a CIA. No, he wasn't. Claims to have fought in a Kumite death match. No, he didn't. Claims to have been taught by a martial arts ninja master named Senzo Tanaka. No proof that he was even in the same room with the guy. And guess what? Arrest for domestic abuse. I know a guy that knew Frank back when he was back in California, and he said, yeah, that basically all of Frank's lovers and partners were doorstops. They were weak-willed women that he could push around and keep under his control. And they all left him once they got that strength to realize they didn't have to put up with this BS. So yeah, that's why it is. A man basically goes for the two F's. They're fighters and they're procreators. And that should be a danger sign. When you bring your kids to a martial arts class and the teacher is trying his best to convince the world that he is the biggest badass on the planet, run. Okay? If he's got tons of patches on his uniform, if he's got more certificates on his wall than someone that went to 20 universities, those are danger signs, because the same thing that drives them to, these hollow men to try to prove that they're best fighters also makes them want to prove that they're men in the procreation field. And the 13-year-old girl is about all they can handle. If a real woman came along, they couldn't handle them, so they go for 13-year-olds. It's that simple. It's getting harder and harder to tell the true martial artists from the fakes. Watch for the warning signs. In further blogs and video blogs, I'll try to deal with other things you should watch out for. But for right now, watch out for those that try to be, not only martial arts masters, but they were part of Delta Force Commandos and things like that. Just you don't need that. You don't need someone that's trying that hard to present a macho facade to the world. Just walk away and keep your kids safe. Stay safe.